News and culture through the lens of USC and Southern California. I'm Katie Havens, and we're coming to you live from Studio B in USC's Annenberg Media Center.
And I'm Sophia Ketterer. It's Wednesday, April 30th. On today's show, tariffs hit the toy industry, USC talks AI in the medical field, and summer is fast approaching. All that and more from where we are.
But first, today's headlines.
The LA City Council unanimously voted on Tuesday to approve a proposal that seeks to reduce some of the various fees, permits, and regulations that affect the filmmaking process. Councilman Adrian Nazarian, who introduced the proposal, told reporters that this motion is focused on revitalizing local filming production, streamlining the city's permitting process, and making it more efficient and less bogged down by bureaucracy. The motion is designed to benefit middle-class industry workers and mid-budget productions.
Today marks the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War. A celebratory parade was held in Ho Chi Minh City, where hundreds of thousands of citizens gathered to participate in the afternoon festivities. The parade honors the moment Communist North Vietnam overtook Saigon, South Vietnam's then capital, renaming it to Ho Chi Minh City and putting an end to the war. To Lam, the leader of the Communist Party of Vietnam, spoke to the gathered crowd and recounted the moment the North was able to defend the Allied forces of the South, the French, and America. U.S. diplomats were reportedly directed by the Trump administration to not attend the parade, an order that seems to have been eased as Consul General Susan Burns was in attendance despite the U.S. ambassador's absence.
USG voted unanimously to pass a resolution recognizing May as Jewish American Heritage Month, in addition to nominating a Jewish community advocacy liaison. The bill was authored by USG Senator Brandon Tavakoli, who says it will promote representation within USG and across the broader USC community. The Office of Religious and Spiritual Life will work with Jewish student groups to nominate the new liaison, whose authority extends to being a voting member on USC's Advisory Committee on Jewish Life. The resolution follows threats of a looming investigation by Trump's task force to combat anti-Semitism for the university's alleged complicity in enabling racial discrimination against Jewish students.
Five-star USC basketball commit Aaliyah Arenas was released from the hospital following a car accident last Thursday that left him in an induced coma. While his journey to full recovery is just beginning, his spirit remains strong and he's surrounded by love and support, read a written statement released by the Arenas family. Josiah Johnson, co-host of Gil's Arena podcast alongside Aaliyah's father, Gilbert Arenas, said in the most recent episode of the show that Aaliyah sustained, quote, no major injuries as a result of the car accident.
No major injuries as a result of the car accident.
The Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders sold out in minutes at every major U.S. retailer, including Walmart, Target, Best Buy, and GameStop. It is unknown if pre-orders will restock before the console releases on June 5th. Pre-orders were initially set to begin on April 9th, but were suspended to April 24th following the enactment of tariffs ordered by the Trump administration.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and today marks the 26th annual Denim Day. That's a global campaign that highlights wearing jeans as a social statement against sexual assault. And a warning here, this story contains references to violence and sexual assault that may be upsetting to some listeners. Olivia Giandaruso reports.
The annual Denim Day campaign is run by Peace Against Violence. That's an organization that aims to prevent sexual and domestic violence. Today, at a rally outside Los Angeles City Hall, the group's executive director, Patricia Giggins, talked about the meaning and importance of Denim Day.
It started as a protest against harmful attitudes and misconceptions surrounding sexual violence. That, by the way, still persists. A major purpose of the original Denim Day and continues today is to stop victim blaming, which also persists. Now, Denim Day is the longest running sexual violence prevention campaign in history, and we need it more than ever.
Denim Day began after the Italian Supreme Court overturned a rape conviction back in 1999. The basis for their decision? That the victim was wearing tight jeans. The court implied in its decision that because the victim's jeans were tight, she must have helped remove them. In other words, consent. The ruling angered female members of the Italian parliament, who came to work the next day wearing jeans in solidarity with the victim. Speakers at today's rally cited the Italian court ruling.
They called that the denim defense.
Giggins made clear that there is no excuse or invitation to rape, assault, or harass anyone. Then, she announced a bit of good news, the creation of a new Los Angeles County Sexual Assault Council.
And we are so excited to officially launch it today for our county. And it brings together a diverse range of stakeholders, including the rape crisis centers, law enforcement, healthcare providers, prosecutors, social workers, survivor advocates, public health officials, and community-based organizations, and of course, medical examiners and forensic nurses.
Other attendees praised the creation of this council. Among them was Gabby De La Rosa with Project Sister Family Services, a local sexual assault crisis center.
Really a space for both community members, assembly members, forensic nurses, law enforcement officers, really the most key people that provide these services for survivors. So it's a space to listen to the community, see what's missing, fill in the gaps.
Sonia Toledo, a supporter of Peace Against Violence, said she's glad that the county is making this investment in fighting sexual assault.
It's a great addition. I think I work with the LA County as well, and I think that's something that a group that was needed in the community, and I'm glad that they are now putting more efforts into making a bigger impact.
Council stakeholders will next identify what issues they need to focus on first. This includes how to get around systemic barriers faced by sexual assault survivors as they try to seek help. For Annenberg Media, I'm Olivia Jangeruso.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Toy industry professionals and local toy stores are warning that Trump's recent tariffs on China are likely to have significant impacts on their business, especially heading into the Christmas season. Natalia DeSun has the story.
It may be several months away, but Christmas is already at risk. In early April, the Trump administration's tariffs reached 145% on China. The tariffs have had a wide range of effects on business in America. Their latest victim, toy stores. The New York Times reported China manufactures 80% of toys sold in the U.S., and CNBC reported that at the Port of Los Angeles, imports from China make up 45% of traffic. This all has left small businesses like Kip's Toyland, the oldest toy store in Los Angeles according to their website, in a difficult position. Owner Don Kipper said they'll have to decide whether or not to pass on higher prices to consumers.
We can choose to have either a smaller profit margin when we buy those things, or lose money and keep our prices the same, or adjust our prices. I don't want to say raise our prices, but adjust our prices to reflect this chain of events that none of us have instigated.
Kipper said they don't want to increase prices because of what the toys mean for the children who receive them.
And we have to recognize that Johnny and Susie are still going to have birthdays coming up. There's still going to be a Christmas where moms and dads are going to want to buy toys for their kids.
In light of this issue, earlier today, Trump dismissed the impact of the tariffs on toy manufacturers when asked about them during a cabinet meeting.
Maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30, and maybe the $2 will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally.
Kipper said they normally start ordering toys for the holiday season in the summer, but even that is starting to change.
So usually around July 1st is when we start buying. But usually doesn't matter anymore because nothing is usual.
Despite the situation, suppliers have tried their best to work with business owners. Kipper said suppliers have told them,
if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call, and you can cry on our shoulders. Everybody, and this is one of several such emails that we've received from our suppliers.
Toy stores have already been struggling to compete against big box stores and online retailers, and this is only making matters worse.
Risk is if you don't try to remain competitive and adjust your prices to reflect the increased costs that you're incurring, you're going to go out of business. Mm-hmm. You know, you see it happening all over the place, not just with retail stores, but restaurants, and all kinds of mom and pop little organizations are getting clobbered.
As the tariff war continues with China globally, Kipper and other stores are trying to save Christmas locally. For Annenberg Media, I'm Natalia Desan.
Today, USC sparked conversation about AI's role in the medical field at the 3rd Annual Frontiers Forum in collaboration with the Chen Institute. Lizzie Leoto has the story.
The Frontiers Forum, which was titled Sensation and Motivation, invited USC students to listen to 15 guest speakers from all over the country. The forum is dedicated to fostering collaboration between researchers and students, as well as present the latest research in neuroscience and AI. The Chen Institute hosted the event as part of their mission to bridge the gap between neuroscience and AI.
Yes, the Chen Institute was started in 2016 with $1 billion commitment to neuroscience.
That was Stephanie Lee, the director of conferences for the Chen Institute. USC physiology and neuroscience professor Li Zhang helped organize the event as well as spoke about his research about the social behavior of mice. Professor Zhang says that AI has always been included in the event, but there was certainly more of an emphasis this year.
This year is more than 1/3 about AI. So I think this just the forum is just really promote the interaction between people in AI and the people in neuroscience, and to develop and to talk about what's the cutting edge questions we need to go for. Yeah, which is there's no answer yet.
Stephanie Lee touched on how the Chen Institute adapted this year's forum to reflect the increasing presence of AI in medical research.
In the past, we were really focused on neuroscience and how to find applications and research that would further that space. But now we're finding that AI tools can also greatly enhance the neuroscience arena.
Zoe Donaldson came all the way from Boulder, Colorado, to talk to students about her research in, believe it or not, mice monogamy. Despite how strange her research was, Donaldson hoped that students would take home an appreciation of the natural world, as well as an understanding of how nature and AI can come together for groundbreaking research about the human mind.
I think when I was a student, we won't say how long ago that was, I could not have envisioned where we would be today with the intersection of sort of technology, neuroscience, and our understanding of natural behavior.
The Chen Institute hopes the forum will continue to build the bridge between neuroscience and AI. The engagement between professors and students will hopefully foster collaboration necessary for uncovering the preventative treatments and underlying causes of neurological disorders. Lee invites any student listeners who are curious about the intersection of AI and healthcare to come to next year's forum, which will likely happen at the end of April 2026. For Annenberg Media, I'm Lizzie Leoto.
I'm Katie Havens. We're glad you're with us for From Where We Are.
And I'm Sophia Ketterer. It's 14 minutes past the hour. Coming up, can 100 people beat one gorilla? And our final film frequency.
Show me the way to the next whiskey bar.
Whiskey A Go-Go is an iconic Hollywood venue, but decades after its heyday, what does it look like today? Yuso Matanen has the story.
It's a Saturday night in Hollywood. A band is playing in an iconic LA rock club, the Whiskey A Go-Go. There are only a few dozen people downstairs on a small dance floor, and about as many are sitting upstairs. The place has definitely seen much wilder night than this.
You're awfully quiet for a bunch of people drinking on a Saturday night. You're killing me out here. I hear you breathing. I know you're down there. It's all right.
The Whiskey opened its doors in 1964, and soon it became home to many legendary bands, such as The Doors, who operated as their house band for a few months in 1966. For decades, Whiskey A Go-Go introduced us to numerous rock, punk and metal bands on their way to success. It became known all around the world. Its heyday lasted to the 90s, when bands like Oasis performed there. Author Eric Quisling wrote a book about the club's history with Austin Williams in 2004. He describes the Whiskey A Go-Go being extremely significant to American rock culture.
Just from everything that was, built the rock and roll mystique, it was happening there.
Eric says that one big reason for the Whiskey's great success was how the previous owner Mario Maglieri ran the place.
Yeah, it wasn't a heavy hand. It was a loving hand that he gave to the kids. He knew that they wanted to, get a little bit crazy.
Jason Ebbs, the vocalist and guitarist of a Las Vegas rock band called Swaggermouth, played the Whiskey on a Saturday night at the end of November. He says that up-and-coming rock bands still want to play there because of the club's reputation.
There's when you get just getting to the Whiskey and seeing the name up there, it's just it's really cool the way it feels. The crew's amazing.
The undeniable fact is that current music trends are not in the favor of places like the Whiskey A Go-Go. Old school rock clubs aren't the place to go for most of young people anymore. But Eric Quisling believes the Whiskey still has a significance in the music industry.
I think it's still an important place because it's a great place to go see a live band. It's always a place where A&R people from record labels go and want to see young, new talent.
On a Saturday night, many people in the audience are at the Whiskey for the first time ever. They're either tourists or supporters of a specific band. Is there a future for the places like the Whiskey A Go-Go? Eric Quisling hopes so.
They're, national landmarks at this point. They're part of American history.
Every time it feels like it's gone, it's dead, it's not coming back, musicians all around who love rock music bring it back up, reimagine it, recreate it, and present it in its newest form.
Whiskey A Go-Go celebrated its 60-year-long history in 2024. Time will tell whether one day it will host its 100th anniversary. For Annenberg Media, I'm Juuso Määttänen.
One gorilla versus 100 humans. Who would win? This debate has been circulating the internet, but we took it to campus to see what USC students had to say. Lauren Tonsich has the story.
Could 100 USC students beat a gorilla in a fight? A ridiculous question maybe, but at Edinburgh Radio, we decided to take it seriously. We asked Trojans across campus what they thought, and some weren't so optimistic. First, we heard from Matt Mazza, a sophomore majoring in health and human sciences.
I firmly believe that 100 USC students cannot beat a gorilla in a fight. I think USC students would be too scared to go approach the gorilla.
Then came India Wheeler, a sophomore studying astronautical engineering.
Have you seen the shape these kids are in? I just don't think that would happen.
And Sebastian Seidenberg, a sophomore communications major, didn't hold back either.
No, it's a gorilla. It's big. It's kind of scary, and it'd probably hurt you.
Others had more creative strategies. Joaquin Williams is a freshman business major, and he had a game plan.
Yes, 100 USC students could beat a gorilla because all of them just have to jump them. And the first 30 are going to die, obviously. You got to just take that sacrifice for the team.
Gray Duckett, a freshman on the pre-law track, imagined more of a group effort.
I think it would be sort of a avalanche, all attack the gorilla. Whoever's the fittest survive.
And Peter Callahan, a sophomore business major, said it's all in the planning.
If they plan it out accordingly, they'd be able to take him down.
And then there were the diehard Trojans, the ones who believe in the fight-on spirit with everything they got. Serene Carranza is a sophomore business major, and she's confident in both USC's strength and smart.
I really do. Combined with our ability for strength and acumen in intelligence, I feel like USC students, all 100 USC students, on average, could be a gorilla.
But if you're still on the fence, let sophomore Justin Keopeak, a history major, convince you otherwise. I interviewed him outside of Seeds Cafe, but he didn't just speak. He stood on a table and grabbed the mic from my hand, where he basically turned Seeds into his own stage.
If you ask me if 100 human beings can beat a gorilla in the fight, I'd have to tell you unequivocally no. What's going to happen is the first guy's going to run up, get scared, the gorilla's going to grab his head, rip it off, and then he's going to grab another guy's leg, rip that off, and they're going to be crying, and the rest of the 99 guys is going to run away, right? But I'll tell you this much. If you ask me if 100 USC students can beat a gorilla, I gotta say that gorilla does not stand a single chance! We are going to charge that gorilla. The first man is gonna sacrifice himself. Maybe the second or the third, all right? They're gonna take one for the team and live their life without a few limbs. But that is what we are all about. You see, here at USC, we fight on through the pain, through the struggle, through the loss of limbs. And we will take down that gorilla. No questions asked. All right. I have not a single doubt in my entire being. In my mind, in my body, in my soul, that gorilla will be done for as soon as he messes with USC.
And this is where people start to turn their heads. Phones came out and laughter turned into awe. This became a moment.
Do I think another school? Let me think about it for a second. No? This school is the only school that can take on that gorilla, I gotta say. I think it is our fighting spirit. It's right in our motto. It's right in our motto. We fight on. We fight when it comes to the football. We fight when it comes to the basketball. We fight when it comes to the academics. And yes, I'll tell you right, we fight when it comes to the gorillas. We fight the gorilla. We beat the gorilla. We will destroy the gorilla. Any other school, I tell you no. I tell you that the gorilla's too strong. The gorilla's too powerful. People are too scared to fight the gorilla, to face him. But this school is the strongest school.
So could 100 USC students beat a gorilla? We may never know. But after watching Justin rally a crowd on a Tuesday afternoon outside of Seeds, I wouldn't bet against us. For Annenberg Media, I'm Lauren Tonsich.
Welcome back to Film Frequency, where we talk all things, you guessed it, film. Since today marks the last show of the semester, we have a special segment this week where we look forward to summer vacation. Joining us in the studio today are our executive producers, Sam Bittman and Ethan Huang. Welcome back one final time, you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, special guest stars never seen before. All right, so of course we're here to talk about movies. As finals are coming to a close, we have a lot more time to be watching movies. What are your top summer movie recommendations?
Well, I think for me, I'm going to be focusing on the blockbusters this summer. Last summer was a little bit weak, but I feel like the summer before in 2023, I was going to the theater like every other week. We had like Barbenheimer, you had Mission Impossible, you had Spider-Verse, all coming out that summer. And this summer I feel like is going to be like that once again. There's really only one movie I feel like I should look forward to, which is Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, starring Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, and everyone else in that really good cast. Yeah, I mean, that movie, the Mission Impossible franchise is probably the greatest film franchise ever conceived by anyone. And I'm very excited to see that happen. And I like that despite its name, they are very much not treating it like it's the last movie. They're just saying, this is just another Mission Impossible movie. You're going to see Tom Cruise like almost die just for the sake of cinema. So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, and I've only ever seen the first Mission Impossible, so I'll take Ethan's word for it, but I have some homework to do before that comes out. Mine won't focus as much on the blockbusters, but one movie that could be a blockbuster this summer is F1, which I'm really excited for. It's directed by Joseph Kosinski, who made Top Gun Maverick, speaking of Tom Cruise, but it stars, more importantly, Brad Pitt. as this character, Sonny Hayes, who's an old driver who's taken out of retirement to help a struggling Formula One team and mentor a hotshot driver for one more chase at glory. To me, this just sounds like the live action version of Cars, based on the description, but I'm hoping for a little bit more than that. I don't know anything about F1. I don't pretend to be a fan of F1, but I like to see fast cars go fast in a movie theater, and looks like that's what that's going to be, so I will be there.
I think there's nothing wrong with the live action Cars, personally.
I agree. I'll be there.
I mean, who doesn't like to see fast cars go fast? It's beautifully put. So through past interviews, we've learned that you guys have seen a lot of movies, and Katie and I have not. So what are each of your top films you've seen this year?
Ooh, we might have the same number one.
I have to take out the letterbox right now.
I'll just say at the top of the bat, I'm going to guess, unless you would disagree, Ethan, that our number one is probably Sinners.
Yeah, it's Sinners.
It's just a recency pick, but it's true. Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan, is phenomenal. There's really nothing like it out right now. See it on the biggest screen as you can. We have one more week till it's not in IMAX anymore. But there's a lot to say about it, but we don't want to get into spoilers, so we'll just say if you like a good time at the movie theaters and a spectacle of a movie with a phenomenal soundtrack and a sequence in the middle of the movie that I think both of us can agree we've never really seen before, go check out Sinners.
Yeah, that really blew my mind. It's a crazy movie. Other great movies that I've seen this year, Mickey 17, which we've talked about. I'm a big fan of Bong. Even though I think it's maybe one of my lower ranked Bongs, a lower ranked Bong is still like a solid 7 or 8 out of 10. It's still a great movie. An underrated pick, I actually would choose Den of Thieves 2, Pantera, which, if you've never heard of Den of Thieves, it is just a heist. It's a heist franchise, it's 2 movies, but it's a heist movie. This one, it's just about this really big tough guy cop played by Gerard Butler, who's just like swears all the time, very alcoholic, but it ends up somehow becoming rather beautiful just seeing him and then kind of one of the former antagonists of the last film sort of have to team up and sort of seeing that relationship from a different perspective. I really love that movie, even though it's a bit of a deeper cut.
Yeah, those are good picks. I still haven't seen Sinners, and I want to see it.
I was going to say we were talking about that.
Yeah, we do need to see it. But I have another quick question. Are there any movies that you guys need to watch like during summertime, like a ritual, like summer movie?
Ooh.
High School Musical, perhaps?
Yeah, that would be my answer.
Maybe. I'll let you know when I see it. Can't think of any off the top of my head, but there are definitely like summer vibe movies. I mean, I feel like any big blockbuster is good in the summer. Jaws is always a summer movie, especially when it hits like July.
I don't think it is. It would not make me want to
like
go
it would
in
make
the
you
ocean.
scared.
Well, don't watch it before you go to the beach, but it's definitely a summer movie, without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have, because I don't rewatch as many movies if I'm not with someone. I usually rewatch movies when I'm trying to show it to another person, but definitely I think an easy pick would be, superhero movies are kind of a good time during the summer. It has the vibe. The summer has 2 great ones, or potentially great ones, hopefully great ones, coming out, which is Superman and the Fantastic Four, which both of them seem to be potentially trying to revitalize their respective comic book franchises. Superman is this new start to the DC universe after the failed experiment that was the DCEU, and Fantastic Four seems to be trying to inject a bit more life into the MCU. Though I will be seeing Thunderbolts tomorrow, so I'll see how that goes.
Hopefully good.
Yeah, hopefully good. But they seem pretty good so far.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of action-packed movies. Sounds interesting. All right, so I have one final send-off question for you guys. You guys have both been with ARN for a while and are leaving this semester. I know everyone's really sad to see you both go. Can you each share maybe one of your favorite memories or like a fun memory from ARN?
Ooh, I was going to throw it back to you. I don't know. There's nothing like that in particular sticks out. I mean, most recently, off the top of my mind, is like the Festival of Books that we just did this past weekend. That was just awesome to see like our whole team come together. And we really had, all of our people from the several years that I've been doing it now. And to have everybody there on the same page, really working hard, giving it their all, and to see it all come together was really cool. I got to work from the tech side because, I do the soundboards on days when I'm not producing. So that was just really fun to see from the tech perspective. I got to sit there through all the interviews and just seeing it all come together was really great.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a singular memory because I've been with ARN for all 4 years of college, and I've been producing this show for more than 2 years now. So I don't know. ARN has been my life for pretty much the past 4 years. And yeah, I mean, I think every time we're doing this, we're sitting here, that has all been special. I remember just the people who mentored me back when I was a freshman, when I was a sophomore, and then being able to pass that on to kind of new people as well. So yeah, I don't think I have a singular memory, but there are many of them. You know.
I'll also add, I feel like for me, some of the most fun every single week is when we get closer to showtime, when it hits about 3:30, 4 o'clock, when that rolls around and we know there's about an hour till the show, and everything starts to get a little bit more real, and we're getting everything into the show, and just that kind of energy that builds up as we get closer to 5 o'clock is always a lot of fun.
Definitely. It's easily the most exciting and most stressful part of the day, but yeah, I'm grateful for past 4 years of everybody who has been listening to this show, and listening to all the work that we've been putting together.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited to see where it's going to go.
Yep. And this will be our final sign off.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you guys are both truly so amazing. We really couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah. I know we're really going to miss you, and so is everyone else in the media center. So thank you for all you guys have done.
And thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, thanks.
And that's all the time we have today on From Where We Are. Sam Bittman, Ethan Huang, and Enzo Luna produced today's show. We had help from April Aguilera, Caleb Kim, and Nicholas Correll.
Our audio coaches are Jamila Hammond and Leslie Bearstein Rojas. Our board operator is Wendy Lee. Our live stream manager is Kayla Shu, and Derek Renfro composed our theme music.
Catch us live on YouTube at Annenberg Radio News, Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. Subscribe to From Where We Are, wherever you're listening right now. Finally, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Annenberg Radio. I'm Katie Havens.
And I'm Sophia Ketterer. From all of us at Annenberg Radio, wherever you are, we hope you'll join us again for
From Where We Are. All right, so even though Sophia and I are going to be back next semester, we are both also really sad to see everyone go and
really
to leave.
Especially the song that they just chose.
I know.
Like, putting me in my
This is
feels.
way too sad.
I've cried like every day this week. I don't need to cry again.
Well, I'm going to miss you, Sophia.
I'm going to miss you too. You were the highlight of my Wednesday.
All of you. You're the highlight of my week.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. Same.